Good day, everyone. Today is 2:14 p.m., 21 November, Tuesday, and we have a disclosure here. Let me move this one out of the way. Connection NinjaTrader broker, and we have covered for many years the scalpers, and today I want to cover is the same auto trade, but is a swing trading. It's the same file, it's the same auto trade. You can scalp or swing trade the market. The whole idea about that swing trading, I've been loving it a lot, and I find it very, very easy to auto trade with that, especially you don't have to deal with a trailing stop loss, and then neither what time you need to start. You just start those auto trade when the markets open your local time. So I just want to cover how accurate is that auto trade, the swing trading, and what we are looking on a, basically this is what most of the auto traders use, and I'm covering the DAX and the ES because in Europe this is the most market they trade, and the ES in USA. So the majority of the auto trading time frame is 150 ticks, 1000 volume, gap for 5 range, 288, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 244 ticks. So this is basically most of the auto traders they use. Those are the basic time frame. But what is unique about this the swing trading, that the standard, the condition to jump into the market is a very high, and I mean it's not an aggressive, but in the same time it's designed to take less trade, and when the conditions are right, then we are taking a trade. As an example, first I would like to cover for you one thing, that all of them here, they are minimum $500 target. What I mean by that, that it doesn't matter where the amount you're looking at. As an example, this one here is the DAX 2800. We set the target at minimum 500. There we go, 500. On that auto trade, you don't have, you have an option, market order or a limited order, but I use a market order on the swing trading, and on the scalper I use normally a limited order, but you can change those, use a limited order if you like to, but I find it unnecessarily because the numbers of the trades are very, very low, and the conditions are very high. So I can afford the plus minus one slippage, and I still will not be affected my trades. And as an example, this one here, on the DAX, I start normally around 3:30 a.m. Eastern time. But this is not what I want to cover. Is the target is 500. I have no idea in the morning, and it is really pleasant because you don't know what you are getting today. It could be 500, or you will not get the 500, or if the market is trending, then it will be the best day for you for the whole week. And the reason I like the DAX, especially for traders who have over $10,000 account, because you have to count if you had a few bad days. But what I like about the DAX, that if you have started the auto trade in the morning and the market trended, that will cover the whole week. In other words, $2,800 or $3,000. In order to make it on the ES, you have to use a lot of contracts, a lot of you have to expose yourself to the market all the time, and plus you have to be sitting behind the computers day and night to get it. Where on the DAX, if you have a good day, you are covered for the whole week and you are done for the whole week. And this is what I love about it. But as an example here, this is a 1,000 volume. We started the auto trades at 3:30, but the first trade was at 5:48. It's not 3:30 because the conditions that were not right on that time frame. So it took 2-3 hours before we took that trade, but it was the only trade for today, and that's why I don't care about the slippage. And the minimum is 500. Why? Let me show you an example why I like this one here. It always will work to your benefits, and like when you are trying to auto trade all day long and exposing yourself constantly to the market, especially if you don't have that many years experience, that can really have a big impact because you cannot read the market. If you know how to read the market, then you are okay. But if you don't, then we are looking for trouble here. So let me give you an example here on the full range. Also, we started at 3:30, and you know what? At 3:30, we started. By 3:36, we took that trade, and it was the only trade. And if we notice, because we put it on a $500 target, we got 662. We were in and out from 3:36. We were out of that trade at 3:48. And this is almost $100 in what, in every 5 minutes or something. So it was done. However, if I continued with that, I don't know if this one will make another 1,000 or it makes 2,000. I have no idea. Nobody knows. After we see what happened, yes, it's easy to say, okay, I wish I stayed on. But in the future market, you cannot do that. I mean, if you got your money, then be disciplined and patient. This is the most important things in the future trading. Let me take another example here. On 150 ticks, which is a very, I mean, a lot of traders do that. They use the 150 ticks. And we started at 3:30, but the first trade was 7:10. It was one trade, beautiful, and we were done at 7:38. So we went in at 7:07, and we got out at 7:40, let's say. So, I mean, how many minutes we have in this one here? And it was 1,300, and this is beautiful. What I like about that, that first, you're not exposing your account constantly, because this is bad for the market when you put in your account in a live the whole day. This is mad. This is not the way it works, because if you make money in the morning does not mean you're gonna make money in the afternoon, or you can be millionaire in the afternoon, or you can be broke in the afternoon. Nobody knows. So the things is consistency. Whatever we can get out of that trade, we can get out of it. And what is nice about it is, like every morning now, I just looking, trying to catch, to see if I'm going to be able to take one trade and get it over with. This is another one on 288 ticks. And what I like about that, you don't have to study the condition in the market before you start auto trading. You do not have to be, because also you have to understand what's going on in the market, and also can really work very well around the news. So I don't need the news filter either. I don't like, but you can also use the filter, but I think it will make more money without the filter. But you have the news filter here 3 minutes before or 5 minutes before. This is up to you. But hey, I wanted this market to move. And as an example, this one here doesn't matter the amount, whether it's a 3,000 or 300. This is not the issue here. Because one day you will make 3,000, and one day you will lose 300, and one day you will make 300. Whatever we can get out of the market, we get out of the market. The principle is, is very well disciplined, and the condition on that auto trade, unlike the scalper, it is very high. So it's not going to take a trade if the conditions are not met. And this is a very, very important, the math, it is very important in the trading in 2017. And I have said that in 2013, I have said that in 2014 and 15 and in 16, and now I'm saying it in 17. Every year, future trading is getting harder and harder, and you have to be disciplined, and the math is overtaking the best traders in the world. So the math, it is a very, you can call it algorithm, you can call it jukebox, call it whatever you want to, but the math is very, very much into our trades. And the math, it is very important in the auto trading, not a dummy indicator or a dummy trailing stop. A dummy trailing stop is a bad news. And if you look at my previous videos, I'm always against the dummy trailing stops because I don't get it. If this market going in your direction, why you are in a hurry to get out of a good trade? And this is to prove my point. The only time I want to get out of that trade is when the trend is over. And sometimes by looking at it, it's not good enough. As an example, this one here, most of the auto traders look at the numbers, but I don't want to look at numbers. What I want to know about efficiency. If we looking at the entry here at 541, irrelevant the number. And if we notice how this market went, and we closed folks, on 2 bars blue before it start turning to yellow. This is based on a price line. And if we notice after we exit that trade, it was in neutral from 1010 to actually 1120. That it is a huge disaster for a guy is manual trading or he have a dummy auto trade based on indicators alone. So this is what what is beautiful about it, and it's become really, really something in the morning. And one thing about it, I've been doing this for many years. One thing about it, if that market is not going to give money on the first hour, there is no use to keep sitting with that instrument trying to seek money in there because there is no money. Sometimes we don't know. This is the problem. Sometimes we don't know tomorrow. Today is a Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I have no clue if the ES is going to make money or the NASDAQ is going to make money or both are not going to make money. Nobody have the clue. Not unless if you are a market mover. Then you don't need an auto trade. But as an example here, if we notice on that one here, we had a very small trade, look, at 3:30. The second trade was at 6 o'clock, 3 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours later, and then now 26.75. 26.75, one lousy trade and one winning trade. And if we didn't have that losing trade, we would have closed around 3. And this is really, 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 for a guy, don't know how to read the market, don't know how to optimize, you just turn it on at 9:30 Eastern Time to trade the U.S. market, and for whatever in Europe, most of them, they use the DAX, and one good day on the DAX a week, you should be a happy camper. And of course, you will have a bad days as well. I'm not going to say every day you're going to have a good days. No. In the market, there is nothing called every day a good day. But here is another example. At 3:30, we took one losing trade. Then we got one winning trade, one losing trade, and then one winning trade. But we're always on top of that trade. So we're not going in the circle and just losing money. So and if we notice what time we were done on the last trade, it was 9:59. You know what? it is okay. It is okay as long as this auto trade making money. The last trade is 743, and we were done at. I mean, if it was going into your direction, no sweat. Then just go ahead, put yourself an espresso, and watch it. So this is one thing. Sometimes uh, when you see some good profit, you have the temptation to close position and protect your profit. And this is, if you notice here in that area, that can give you temptation to close position. But if you have a little beef to start with, then you say, let it ride. And most of the time, you find out yourself you're mistaken and the market is a trended right. So what it is, let me try to, you know, we covered, I think, the 5 range and even the 3 range we covered. Let me look at the 3 range. And sometimes if the market is trending, it will be your lucky day. And if it's not, then you just walk away. Today, this is your 3 range. We took the first trade. And what is nice about it is easy. You start, whatever you get, and it's finished. 651, and we were done at 704. So actually from even on a 3 range, folks, on a 3 range, the first trade was at 651. So what I'm trying to say, the conditions are very high for the auto trade to take any trade. The conditions are extremely high. Sometimes you will have a trade 5 minutes after you start your auto trade, and sometimes it might take 1 hour or 2 hours before you can get the first trade, but it's irrelevant. As long as the market is not confirmed, that auto trade is not going to take a trade, that's for sure. And sometimes you get 600, and if the market is trending, you're going to make it. This one here on the 4 range started at 336. We were done on that trade at 349, and it was 662. And you have to count always plus minus 1 tick. And all of them, folks, this is a market order, and all of them are on a $500 minimum target. 500, all of them, minimum target 500. Why? And I will show you on a smaller level like the NASDAQ. So we have here on that one here, we started the first trade at 9:30. Oh, this is a YM. Okay, this is a YM. I'm sorry. This is a YM at 9:30. And we were done one trade at 14:10 recently, actually. And it was one trade all day long, 625, and this is a YM. And this is lovely. So it's not just the guy have money, can auto trade the DAX, but also for a guy have a limited account, he can start. And you know what? And this is the thing is, instead of having 3 contracts on a CL or on the DAX, and if you're gonna have a bad day, this is gonna have a severe impact on your account. And I don't get it why, if you have money to get 2 or 3 contracts, and God forbid, why you need to put all your eggs in one basket? And God forbid today, if the YM, if it's not making money, of course, the higher risk, the higher reward. But there is a risk in the future trading because nobody knows tomorrow if the YM will run or not. So in my opinion, it will be lovely even for a guys on a smaller account to run one YM and one NASDAQ. So if the YM went south, at least we have the NASDAQ to cover. So it's always smarter to hedge the future in a disciplined way without investing a lot of money and a minimum stop loss. Always the minimum stop loss, it is must. It is must. A minimum stop loss. In other words, what we have done on those auto trade, let me try to find, maybe I wanted to find something reasonable on a NASDAQ or something. Okay, here is a NASDAQ. This is a 3 range. This is a YM. Okay, let's take the range. On 3 range, NASDAQ. Let's see if it's took it from one time or... Okay, there we go. We have some losing trades in here. And if we are looking, and this is one of the most important in the auto trading, that we don't have this pleasure or to put $200-300 stop loss on a CL or on a Nasdaq, because this is a disaster. Because this is one of the example you can start trading and you have the two trade went south, and that is gonna make the trader nervous. So if we are looking at those trades, they are less than $50 in losses on the first two trades. I mean, if we are looking at this one here, folks, because it is designed, if the market is not going to go to your trend, to your direction, we're going to dump it immediately, without thinking and without giving it any leverage in there. We're going to dump it immediately and we'll try to re-enter the market. And this is exactly when the market is going sideways. This is the worst enemy for any type of an auto trade, because that can suck your money out of your account easy, especially if you are don't have the management. So if we are looking here, we have a short at 42.50 and we got out at 43. On the Nasdaq, it's a $5 per tick, so you can do the calculation how much you lost on that trade. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's not gonna make. And then here on the second one, let's see if we can read it. On the second one, and they are not the same numbers. Again, they are not the same numbers, the stop loss. It depends on the trend. On this one here, we went at 45.75. We exit at 44.75. Okay? And it's $5 per tick. You do the calculation. And then when the market took direction, we went from 49.50 to 64. This is a beautiful ride, and nailed 520 and plus minus one tick. So let's say you're walking away with $520 tip for your broker. You will make your broker happy. Anyway, let me try to cover the most tradable instruments, which is the DAX in the morning and the ES in the afternoon. So I think we have not covered the 3 minutes. Let me look at the 3 minutes. This is an example on the 3 minutes today on the DAX, and you can see the first trade went south. Okay, that's okay. Because here is the problem, because when the market is open, sometimes it changes direction immediately, but then start trending. And once the market is trend, for a guy is a manual trader, he cannot trade anymore middle of the trend. It's a disaster. You either catch that trend from the beginning, or now you need to look for a reversal. Getting into manual trading in the middle, it's just like you're trying to catch a flying knife. It's gonna hurt. And a lot of traders fail to read when the market, if you miss a trade, you're not gonna be able to catch up with it. Maybe you will one time, but it is not gonna be success trading. Once the market took off, you cannot do anything. So on a day like this, the second, if you miss that trend here, the second one here and at that area here is a disaster, because you can see this market was sideways, and that is a disaster. So this is an example for the aggressive traders. They are insistent on trading 24/7. On that one here, you made 2,337, and probably okay, and probably you will enter the market here somewhere, and probably you will exit here, and now you are up to 4,000. I'm not going to argue with that. Then you have that place here. You're going to put your money back. You're gonna put your money back. And this is the problem. Trader blame the auto trade. I made money, but the auto trade give him all up. Not the auto trade give him up. You give up your money. Not the auto trade give him up. Because if we notice in here, and I'm not talking about my auto trade, folks, any auto trade, from 10:09 until now, 14:42, the market is flat. The market is flat on the DAX. Anything from that area here, 10:39 until now, is 14:39. I don't care what auto trade you're using, you're losing money today on that one here. Not unless if you have something magical I don't know about, but you will be losing a greater deal of money. This is a 3 minutes chart. It's a mid-size chart. It's not 15 minutes chart. Not unless, I don't know. So what I'm trying to say, this is the best way, the easiest way for a guy doesn't want to learn how to trade, does not know how to read the market. If the market is slow, sideways, or moving fast, this is your best option. Let me cover the ES. The ES, we started the ES. I started today at 9 o'clock. And the first trade, it was at 9:21 on the ES. And this is a very small time frame. And we were done at 14:12. And this is exactly what I'm saying, why I'm loving the DAX. I mean, that auto trade did not do anything wrong. We started at 9 o'clock. The first trade, it was at 9:21 until now. And the auto trade catch a beautiful trend. No doubt about it. And nailed 675. Let's say $25 a slippage and tips for your broker. You're walking away with 650. That's very fine. But this is exactly what I'm saying. If we have a good day on the DAX, that can cover much better on that area than the ES. But if you are on a low budget or your account cannot handle it, please do not overmerge yourself with something you cannot handle, because you always have to have extra money in your account if in case, God forbid, you have a bad day. And we all have bad days sometimes. It's not always. This one here is a 30-year treasury bond. On the 30-year treasury bond, the first trade was at 9:20, and then, oh, okay. On the 30-year treasury bond, this is a beautiful. Took the first trade at 9:17 actually. Get out of that trade at 9:57. Got in that trade at 10 o'clock, and we were out of here by 11:21. And this is a very lovely ride. And look at this. Really not much to cry over. So you turn on, this one is a very well disciplined auto trade. You're not going to overtrade this one. You cannot overtrade this one. You're not going to be able to oversmart this one. So the conditions in that one here are set. Manually, you're not going to be able to do any better. I guarantee you that. I've been trading since early 90s. I've been around the market, and that little one has outbeat my. Sometimes I said that auto trade is not going to make it, and it turned out most of the time I was wrong. And because I'm a human, I can be involved in it. And when I see the market pulling back here, I say, oh God, I wish I can close it, or I need to close it. But then you say, okay, I believe in that system, and then you leave it and look what happened. And then the market surprises you. If you look at all those charts, you can see you're about the market to go against you, and then it takes off. And this is what I like about the swing trading. This one here is a YM 680. I think we covered this one here. So it's not the numbers matter, and they're all, folks, all of them. Anything you pick up is all of them 500. All of them $500 minimum. $500 minimum. For a guy as a conservative and you are on a low budget, instead of having $500 on the NASDAQ, you can have it $200. So in other words, if this market is trending, it's irrelevant what is your target. If this market is trending and you have the ES as an example on $200, and if this market trended, folks, one thing, if you start trading at 9:30 and that market or that auto trade, and this is going to happen, that auto trade, you don't see any green within the first hour, that tells you that market is not willing to give anything today. It might 2-3 hours later, I don't know, but I don't want to chase something I don't know. So the idea is for a guy, let's say you have a low budget, you can put your target at 200, 250, and if you exceed it, that's fine. And it is a market order, and even if you have a slow internet, your slippage on that one here is irrelevant because your slippage is plus minus one tick. Those numbers are exactly how it will be in the market order, plus minus one tick, because you're not taking that many trades like a normal auto trade. You are swing trading, and it is a very efficient with the stop loss, and that it is something that you can relax when you are auto trading, and whatever you get out of that trade, you get out of that trade and it's over. Let's look at the YM. I think we covered the YM. I'm not sure if we covered it. They all look alike to me because they're all on the, okay, we have CL here. Let's look what the CL did. Okay, fair enough. We had a losing trade on the CL. And then we took one trade. Let me see what time. The second one. No, let's see the first one. The first one took that trade 2 minutes after we started that auto trade. It's amazing. And it started right away south. Then we took the second trade at 9:37 and we were done at 10:14. So this is around what, 30 minutes work? Walk away with $700. So I don't know how much is per minute, but guys, you know, if somebody fallen from the sky today trying to trade, he will be sacrificed. But let me tell you one thing, and this is honest to God. This is the easiest way. If you don't know how to auto trade, this is the easiest way to auto trade. No optimization, no trailing stop. And it's like you're going to the water. I don't know what kind of fish you will catch today. You could be small fish and you can be big fish. I don't know. It's in the water. But the consistency is there. And whatever we get out, if this market is not working within the, especially for those new traders, if this market is not willing to give any, then we stop it. If we're going in the circle, if we don't see any green within the first hour or so, then it is time to dump it and do something else with your life than sitting or trying to train yourself how to trade. But this is an example. What is this one? In NASDAQ? Okay, NASDAQ. Small trade, and then when if the market is trending, it's not, this auto trade is not gonna let it slide. As simple as that. If this market is trending, that auto trade is not gonna let it slide. And this is the problem is with the dummy trailing stop. If we notice on this one here, this will never make money on a trailing stop. I guarantee you. Let me show you why. And I can prove to you that I'm very much against the trailing stop. If you are on a trailing stop, we have this trade here. This is the entry point. That's very, very fine. If we notice whereas this market came back to the same point where you started the market, where you entered that market. So if you are on the trailing stop and you think yourself you're smart, you made it 8 ticks plus 1 or 7 ticks plus 1, you would have got out of that trade, and then you're trying to get in somewhere in here, and this is where the trouble starts trying to catch up the trend. You might succeed and you might not. This is how it is with the trade, and you don't know when you are taking that trade if you're going to succeed or not. And the way it is going, most of the traders probably they're going to get caught right there in this area here. So because now we can see what happened after the fact, but if we are looking from that side, this is a very nice entry, and then you take the trade and then pull back and knocks you out, and then it pulls back and knocks you out. So this is the story of any trader sometimes when they are going with the right trend, but their stop loss keep knocking them out of that trend. And we all have experienced that where we see the CL climb 200 ticks right in front of our eyes and we couldn't get $1 out of it. And this is going to happen today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. For an auto trader, don't look at the numbers, because maybe one day you will have 500, maybe one day you will not have any, and one day you might have, if the market is trending, you might have 10 times the amount of the expectation you have in your mind. But this is not what it is. It is all about discipline. The conditions are very high, and then we are certain that if we start at 9:30, by 10:30, if we don't see any green light, we need to stop. Because by 10:30, if you are not catching any trend, you're going in a circle. And you don't want to go in a circle in an auto trade, because that can have a huge impact on your trading for the rest of the day. And what we have seen here does not mean it's over. If we notice on the control panel here, we still have a lot of ES has not a closed position. We have the 5 range, we have 850, we have the ES4 range has 825, we have the 4,000 volume already closed, the 4,000 volume. I don't know what is it, but it's somewhere. So let me see what else we have. ES 288 ticks. Okay, look at this one here. We have a lot of trades on this one here, but doesn't matter, because look, I mean, I love it when the auto trade take one trade and it's over. I love it. But at 9, we started at 9 o'clock. The first trade was 34 minutes later. That's fine. This is a very nice chunk, whatever it is. Then look at this one here, folks. This is very important. If we notice, this is where all your MACDs and your ATR gets in trouble, and all those dummy indicators, they get in here. This is where you lose your money. And this one here, you can invest 10 years trying to find the best filter for it, and good luck with that. You can put any filter you want, and good luck. And then after you do the job, then you go back, you try to scratch your head, and you find out, because if you tied up the knot, you're gonna lose the trend. You're gonna miss the trend. And if you lose it, then the auto trade is gonna take it when this market. It is a very well auto trading is about balance, because if you put a high filter in there, you're gonna miss the trend, and if you make a loose filter, you're gonna chop in right there, and that can, especially now around the holidays, you're gonna see a lot of that. A lot of accounts from now till New Year Eve will be lost, and that is guaranteed. That is guaranteed, because now we are going into the season, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and that you're gonna see a lot of it. So then what happened to the auto trade? We did not get into those trouble, and once the market trended, we got in, we got out, and the second one was flat, I think. Let me see what happened. Okay, we were missing 97.75. Jesus Christ, we were a half. I mean, the last trade was 97.75 and exit at 98. So we were just a tick away from the 500. And if you are paying attention to it, you say, "What the hell with this tick? I'm done for today." You just close the. So this is the 288 ticks. This one here is nothing. It's one tick, but you made your money here actually, and you should have been a happy camper for what, half an hour work, 1 hour work, and stay out of trouble. I'll take it anytime. Do you think the guy is sitting behind the screen trying to trade? He did better than you? No. This one here, 3 minutes. We entered at 9 o'clock, 9:03. So this is 3 minutes after we activated the auto trade. We activated at 9, and we were done at 12:57. Jesus. Okay, 12:57. One trade, and we are done. And folks, look at this. Now the market is 2:56 p.m. and look how flat it is. So if we study that chart, we catch the heart of the trend in that market for today on the 3 minutes, and we dumped it. So if we notice here, we started the auto trade at 9 o'clock. Look at this. It was nothing here. We took that trade, and when we got out of that trade, nothing has happened. So we got out at 97.50, and now is 98.75. Merry Christmas, you know. So this one here is just sitting stubborn like a mule here. And that, folks, is going to happen sometimes, you know. And so for this guy is trying to stay on those trades, there is nothing there left. There is nothing. So this is whatever you made, and if you want to continue, you would have lost what you do. So in a way, disciplined, folks. Disciplined, patient, and whatever you get a day, you should be happy. And don't let the greed kill you. Let's look at the 5 minutes. It's the same story, folks. It's the same between 3 and 5. It's not much different. Took the first trade at 9:15, and we got out practically the same number at 12:55. And look at this on the 5 minutes. There is not even a trend. After we got out, we had a little snipe here, right there, and then nothing. It's flat. So what did you miss in that trade? To cry over? You got your $600. Go ahead and buy a Christmas tree and get it over with. Enjoy it with your family, you know. Okay, let's look at the 4,000 volume. Volume, I like the volume around those years, around the Thanksgiving and the Christmas. I like the 1,000 volume. I like the 4,000, especially those two. They are my favorite, you know, if you wanted to, I don't know, if you want to try that. This one here is a 4,000, and we took the first trade at 9:29. That's 29 minutes after the market's open. And look, it's the same story. I mean, even the same number, 98.50. Even the exit, the same number. So if you notice the same numbers, whether you are on a 4,000 volume or 150 ticks or 250 ticks or 288, or practically they are a plus minus 1 tick between those charts. Let's see if we missed anything else. Folks, I think this is all what we have for today, and I strongly recommend my traders, especially around those years, to start at 9:30 if you are in USA, you want to trade the US market, or try to start around 3:30, 4 a.m. Eastern time. Also for the guys in USA, if you are an early bird and you have to work during the daytime, this is an opportunity that if you are going out of the house around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and you have 1 hour at home, you can turn it on. Whatever you get out of it, you get out of the DAX, and before you go, you close it. This is one thing, folks, before you start auto trading, you should not leave your auto trade running and go to work or do something else, because on any kind of auto trade, sometimes you get overfilled. Sometimes it could be connection. Sometimes if something happened that you're thinking your auto trade is taking care of it, or maybe for some reason your broker didn't close your position, you need to keep your eye on the auto trade. I mean, you don't have to sit down and glue to it, and that to any kind of auto trade, whether it's NinjaTrader or not. You should not, again, you should not go have a suntan somewhere, or go to work and leave the auto trade and attend it, because especially around this year or something can get overfilled, something. So you are aware. I mean, you can, as long as you keep going back and forth every, I don't know, I don't want to call the minutes, but keep your eye on it. Or if you have an urgent to go to the supermarket and your auto trade is taking a nice trade, you don't want to lose, or you don't want to close that one. And I know it's a crime to close position when the market is trending. Then I give you an option, maybe if you have an iPad or an iPhone, a smartphone, that you can put in the team viewer, and you keep your eye on your tablet with your team viewer, and while your computer at home is running it. And God forbid if your computer tried to update himself and now you have trade in the market. So also sometimes this happen with the computers trying to update themselves. You have not disconnect the automated update, and then your computer want to restart and you are on a DAX trade. Also, you never know what will happen. So another solution you can do, have a team viewer on your iPad, and if you are on an emergency phone call, or if you want to run to the supermarket and you have because this is a very long process, and it is crime to close it. I can understand that. But if you have a team viewer, keep your eye on your auto trade. But please do not leave any kind of auto trade running and running it blindly. Please don't do that to any platform or to any auto trade. It's nothing to do with the auto trade. At the end of the day, it is a mechanical trade, and things can go wrong like anything else. Folks, I apologize. It took a very long, but honestly, I find this is the easiest way out for a guy don't want to mess with the market. It cannot be any easier. And if you can't find anything better, we wish you a happy trading. We wish you the best. But it cannot be any easier than that. God bless you all. And if I don't make any video, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And see you another day. Bye for now.